Hello and welcome to Brand New Me Journey. We have an awesome guest today, Johnnie Lloyd, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. But before, let me just recap and let you know a little bit about our show and who I am. My name is Shante Thompson. I am your host. I am a licensed mental health counselor, a Florida Supreme Court certified family mediator, and I am also a reset and transformational coach helping individuals after they've gone through numerous transitions in life, through divorce, having them go through the self discovery piece to grow into their best selves. Today, we have Johnnie Lloyd, who's going to speak about imperfect butterflies, because here at Brand New Me Journey, we focus on the journey that we all go through. We have the beginning, the middle, and the end stages where it's lifelong and we're constantly growing into our best selves. So we have this wonderful series that's going to bring us to different experts to talk about different things to help us all at the various stages of our growth process. All righty, let me go through the bio for Johnnie. Johnnie Lloyd is the president of Johnnie Lloyd and Associates. She is a highly experienced visionary that specializes in transformational development. She has extensive experience as a fiscal executive and consultant who continues to demonstrate innate ability to lead diverse teams of professionals to new levels of success in a variety of industries. Since retiring with over 27 years in the federal government in leadership positions, working private sector for over 12 years in senior level executive positions, and being an entrepreneur for almost 20 years now, is the time to do what she was created to do: impact the kingdom with successful principles that transform lives. Thank you for being here with us, Johnnie. Welcome.
Such a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited about today.
I'm so happy that you are here. So I want to just dive right in because today we are talking about imperfect butterflies. What comes to mind when we think about butterflies and the process that they go through, but yet the fact that we all have our imperfect ways about us, right? So we must make sure that we take the steps to transform into our best selves the same way the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. So my first
Right.
question, go
Yeah,
ahead.
when I what I think about, I think is your question is I look at the way we come into a situation is not the way we come out. But we determine how we look, we determine how long we have to
Mm-hmm.
stay, we determine what we feed on,
Yes.
and then we can't, and so many times when you look at imperfection, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the process.
The process.
The process
Powerful.
is the part of imperfection because we don't have any control over that part,
Mm-hmm.
because there's things that are on in our life or have we been through that had we had our own vote, if we were in control, we wouldn't have done it.
Right.
I mean, we
Right.
wouldn't have done it. We would have handled it differently, all of that.
Right.
However, when
Mm-hmm.
you look at the end result and you look at a butterfly, you don't look at the process.
Not at
You
all.
look at the end. And
Mm-hmm.
what you look at is each person is considered imperfect, or each butterfly is considered different. And you
Mm-hmm.
look at it and say, well, that one has nice color, and this one is that, and that is that. But it comes from a place of our perception of the butterfly,
Right.
because it's about our perception. I determine what I consider imperfect about me, and I
Mm-hmm.
determine the way people treat me based on the
Exactly.
way I treat and perceive
Right.
myself.
Right. Because these things do not define you, but they help you to be your best selves
Absolutely.
when we
And
use
that's the
them
wonderful thing
correctly.
about it. I'm
When
sorry.
we
So we're just
actually
talking over each other. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, when we take the time to embrace it, it can actually help us to be our best selves.
Absolutely. And the thing about that is, I think when it comes to embracing it,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that you accept it. It means that you grow from it. You take the seed of positivity in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of whatever has been our defeat, our
Mm-hmm.
adversity, whatever situation we've been through. That's part of the life process, our life journey. But we
Exactly.
should take that seed and make it the best in our lives so that we get the benefit of it. Because every negative has a corresponding positive somewhere in it. Now,
Very true.
sometimes it's buried real deep, really, really deep.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So now that we have this great definition of the imperfect butterfly and how we can grow, I wanted to find out from you, transformation from the heart. What does that mean?
Well, the thing about it is when I say, a lot of people want to do surface changing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I change or from the external, I get a chance to put on new garments or whatever, and I can pretend or put a mask on and
Mm-hmm.
say that everything's okay.
Right.
But when I transform from my heart, it includes my head.
Yes.
Because you don't have a head thing going on, and your heart tells tells me
Mm-hmm.
how the person is really in their head. Because what ends up happening is whatever's in your head comes out of your action, it
It
comes out of your
does.
ways, it comes out how you treat other people, it comes
Mm-hmm.
out on how you treat yourself. And I'm not talking about what we buy for ourselves or how much makeup or beauty on the external. I'm talking about who you are at your DNA level is your heart.
The
Because your
character.
heart is where your life is pumped from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Transformation is coming from a place that you have a true metamorphosis where you
Mm-hmm.
absolutely cannot or will not go back to the place that you were before. Because all of
Okay.
us talked about relationships or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and whether it be a relationship with ourselves or others. But when I change from the heart, everybody else has to change around me.
Very true.
Did you say?
Okay, so how do you actually start that process of transformation from the heart then?
Then the first place I would recommend people start is find out where you are.
Okay.
Because if you don't identify where you are, it's like GPS, it can't tell you how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing that your phone or whatever asks you, can I locate you?
Okay.
So get a location of where you
Mm-hmm.
are. Then don't beat yourself up about where you are now because it's not your end, it's your beginning. So no matter where you are, even if it's a decent place, it
Mm-hmm.
may not be your best place because like you said
Mm-hmm.
you're going from, I'm gonna say, from glory to glory, from
Mm-hmm.
one place to a higher level of success in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a process, it's not a destination, it's a journey. So
Okay.
when I look at the movement and what you need to do is, like I said, first of all, identify where you are.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is be aware of who you are,
Okay.
because that is the key. Not what other people have called you, not what other people have said about you,
Mm-hmm.
not how people have defined you from your external or what they believe you don't have, or what you drive, what you can, all of
Mm-hmm.
that. Find out who
Yes.
you are
Yes.
and then move forward. Because then
Okay.
you look at your vision, you look at what you were created to do or what you would love to do, and you walk it out. Now, the plan is most people want a perfect plan before they get
Mm-hmm.
started. Come on now. That ain't happening.
It's
It
not.
just ain't happening.
We have to
So
just
what you
jump
do
into
is
it, right?
right, right. So just start where you are. Just start
Exactly.
where you are. And then as you find out the plan is not exactly what you want, or
Mm-hmm.
the process is not going the way you want, make adjustments and give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself down.
Be gentle with yourself.
Exactly. I mean, be
Yeah.
good to yourself. I'm not talking about, not just a nail pedicure, manicure. No, I'm not talking about just that. I'm saying be good to yourself emotionally. Be
Mm-hmm.
good to yourself mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Treat your brain right, treat your body right. And it's right for you. There's no
Mm-hmm.
such thing. I used to think, like the most gorgeous people were the happiest people, whatever gorgeous is, whatever that definition
Mm-hmm.
is.
Right.
And then I realized that everybody's looking to become their best self.
Yes.
Don't you think? I mean, to be satisfied with who I am.
That's what everyone's searching for, even if they don't realize it. That's what they're
Exactly.
looking for.
And because of that, if we look at the media, if we look at all these outside things to tell us who we are, then when they switch, then we find out that we haven't arrived again. But
Mm-hmm.
when I check my inside and find out who I am, then once I arrive at that location, I can say, okay, now I need to take me to another level,
Okay.
not based on what the media is saying I need, I
Mm-hmm.
want, whatever, because they're really after our money. They're not after our peace.
Tell it.
They're not trying to help us be peaceful. They're not trying to take us to the next level. They're trying to take the
Mm-hmm.
money in your wallet.
For sure. For sure.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So my question
But
then
that's their
is,
job.
because you mentioned that we have to start where we are, and when we start where we are, then we start to take the steps to learn how to improve and to grow. So, what are some examples of places that individuals might be for things that they might actually start working on self with?
Right. One of the places, and I'm gonna talk about me personally because that's a great place to start. I
Okay.
remember when I got a divorce a long time ago. I mean, it was years ago, but I
Mhm.
can still remember back to that place. That was a dark place for me.
Mhm.
So it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I never anticipated getting a divorce, or I wouldn't have got married. I mean, who would
Right.
do that
Right.
intentionally? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nobody starts off to do that. So I was in a dark place.
Mhm.
So, and I was mad at everybody. I was mad at God, everybody, the country,
Mhm.
if
The
it was a man.
country.
Okay, so I had to start there. That was my
Mhm.
my journey. So once I started there and I recognized it wasn't everybody else's fault, and I had to take control back of my life. That was my starting place.
Okay.
So then I started looking and saying, put first things first. I had a child. So I
Mhm.
had to make sure I had a way to provide for her. Now, I'm an extremist. I'm an A type personality. So I over provided.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure everything was good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we have a tendency of doing that. But however, now that I'm at this place, because I mean, I'm retired, I'm going after my life at a different level, all of that,
Mhm.
I'm still on a journey. It's a different journey.
Yes.
I'm happy with who I am.
Mhm.
Other people don't define me.
Mhm.
I have determined who I am. So even at this place, though, is a place of growth.
Very true.
So it doesn't matter where a person is, whether they're in their darkest place, their medium place, wherever they are, whether they have a lot of money or no money at all.
Mhm.
You have to start where you are, use what you have in your
Mhm.
hands, whether it be your head, your talent, your gift, and do what you can to walk this thing out.
Great point.
And that's critical.
Great, great, great points. Oh my goodness, I love it. So yeah, so you're starting where you are with what you have, okay, and then with that, you continue to see that no matter all the growth that you make, you see that you have to acknowledge it, so
Mm-hmm.
you can give yourself that praise report, right? But then
Right.
you can continue to take steps to grow because it is a lifelong journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly what I've been saying this all along. So
See,
I love
we're
it.
on we're in tune.
Yes, we are. Oh my goodness. Okay, nice. So the same way that we know that the butterfly goes through a metamorphosis and has that change from caterpillar to butterfly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how does that compare to the growth process? And I know that you started to touch on this in the very beginning because we spoke about it not feeling very good when the caterpillar is moving through. So, how does that compare to the growth that individuals go through when they are going through their process, their caterpillar phase to their butterfly phase?
Well, it's interesting because when a caterpillar is around, just like when we first start off our process, and even going from glory to glory, from
Mm-hmm.
from success to success, we don't look like where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So in our success journey, we have to take where we are as reality,
As
but
reality.
it's not our truth.
Mm-hmm.
So because we see something else in the long term. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to then go climb up a tree, climb up the ladder of success.
Yes.
And then we have to know what the end is going to be, what we
Hmm.
expect
What
in
we
the end.
expect. Okay. Some
Because
goals.
as we go, yeah, because as we go through the process, it doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And the part that I would like to just address is when we become, I think it's called a chrysalis. We're actually
Okay.
in the cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
When we're in there, a lot is happening.
Hmm.
So in that stage, people are determining who you are and they can't even see you.
Mm. That's
Things are happening in you
yes.
that they don't even understand,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still speaking
As if they
something that
know.
may not be your truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if they help you, because we have friends, we have people who love us,
Mm-hmm.
but if we don't go through the entire process, and when we start trying, the butterfly tries to start opening its wings, it's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the struggle is real. In our life, the
Mm-hmm.
struggle is real for the butterfly. It is
Definitely.
real. But if someone helps the butterfly open that cocoon to make it easier for them to get out, what happens is they can't fly as far.
Mm.
So that's what happens with us. Even though we have great intentions for ourselves or others,
Mm-hmm.
we want to sometimes, and I know I do, let me talk about me. I know I want to cut the process short sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go through all the drama or all the
Right.
dynamics or, get all the, certifications or whatever. I may not want to do that because I know I have it already
Mm-hmm.
within me. I still need to go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be upset when I'm hidden from everybody else, or when people don't see the value in me as a
Right.
person
Right.
or as a professional.
Mm-hmm.
I have to keep on flapping my wings until I get out of that
Mm-hmm.
location, do what I'm supposed to do there, go the extra mile, have a pleasing personality, grow internally, and then when I launch out, nobody can stop you.
I got it. So we have to do the work.
Have to.
We must do
There's
the
no
work.
shortcut.
No shortcut. That's powerful right there because many times, like you said, we do have individuals that are in our corner that's really trying to help us along, but they're really hurting us by not allowing us. They could even be enabling us, right?
Exactly.
Because we must take the time to do the work, to feel the pain, to process the
Mm-hmm.
pain, process how we're going to move forward, and then take those baby steps to get there.
Right. Now, the one thing I would like to add, because when you said it, something triggered, we
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful not to sit in a place and not work at it to get
Mm-hmm.
out, to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you sit in place, it's like water. We become stale. We
Yes.
become stagnant. We end
Mm-hmm.
up with algae over the top of us. And we end up, algae smothers. So
Mm.
we don't want to be in a place where we're saying, I'm just going to sit here and wait till, whatever changes or whatever happens. No, you have to be active. You have to move forward.
Okay, so
You have to keep on doing.
that sounds like the self motivation piece has
Yes.
to really be there for us. That, yeah, there's going to be times when we're going to sit in the funk or not be too happy with the way that life is turning out and, just feel overwhelmed. But we
Yep.
have to be able to brush ourselves off, figure out those goals that you spoke about, and then press forward, push forward.
Exactly.
Remember that
Mm-hmm.
there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's more that we really want for ourselves, and then start doing the work. So I'd like to add then it's great to have cheerleaders then in our background.
Absolutely.
Our
Mm-hmm.
support system can be our cheerleaders. Instead of enabling us, they can definitely push us along and help us to know that they see the growth that we're doing. I have
Mm-hmm.
a friend that's definitely like that for me. She's always calling me up and saying, I see you. I see what you're doing. Oh my goodness, I remember where you were 6 months ago. I remember where you were 2 years ago. And I see all of the steps that you're taking right now. And that kind of gives me a little boost because sometimes we're in it and we don't realize the growth that we've made because we're constantly looking ahead of where we want to be,
That's
and we're
right.
not there yet. So we're feeling stuck when there's so much that we've come from.
Right. I
So,
love that. That's an excellent point. And we can't take that lightly because, like you said, we
mhm,
do have people who may be enabling us. However, there are people that are cheering for us. And
yes,
we have to learn to cheer for ourselves.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
great points. Thank you. So then I want to find out from you then is this discovery. When we go through the process of discovery, how does discovery and mindfulness play its role in transformation?
Now, discovery and mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Discovery is part of mindfulness in when I look at it, because we use our mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's three things we control.
Okay.
We control our mind, our emotions, and our will,
Mm-hmm.
right? So mindfulness is almost like a being wealth conscious, being
Mm-hmm.
health conscious. It
Mm-hmm.
brings the consciousness of whatever we're looking to obtain to
Right.
the forefront. So mindfulness brings it to the forefront. It
Okay.
makes us become more conscious
More
of it
aware. Yes.
and more aware. And then therefore the discovery, by being more aware, then you can discover, move forward, and it makes it easier on your journey.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful. Very, very good. How can someone who recently experienced a significant breakup start the transformation process?
Wow. You know, I have a couple of people in my life that are actually in the midst of this.
Mm-hmm.
And in both people are taking a different direction, which is
Okay.
interesting. But the reason I'm saying it like that is because everybody has their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't heal the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go through pain and then they help other people um, get to a place of wellness, and
Mm-hmm.
it also helps them become well.
Yes.
Then you have some people who have to go through the process by themselves or
Right.
whatever. And then some people, if it's a man, and my studies for men is this: typically, when a man comes out of a breakup,
Mm-hmm.
he finds another woman
Okay.
immediately, almost,
Mm-hmm.
because he's looking for something to soothe that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times they will end up in another relationship quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But that relationship may not be the one. It's
Right.
just the band-aid to get them healed, to get on with their life.
Right.
Women are sometimes different than that. And then there's some
Mm-hmm.
people that do that. They need to be in a relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
need to have other somebody around them,
Companionship.
all
Yeah.
of that, so that it
Mm-hmm.
makes a difference. So when you look at the breakup, what I would say is find out what happened
Mm-hmm.
on my side, on the
Mm-hmm.
person's side, on my side, on the side you can control.
Right.
How could that person have been better in it or processed through it,
Mm-hmm.
so that you get that learning out of it? Now
Mm-hmm.
that may not be immediate, because sometimes it's so painful you don't even want to deal with it.
Right.
So, but at some point we need to own up to anything
Mm-hmm.
that we may have brought to the table that could have
Mm-hmm.
caused it, because otherwise there's no healing, and we'll repeat the
Yeah.
same situation again.
Yes.
So we don't want to repeat a breakup with someone else that looks like somebody different, but
Exactly.
it's the same situation. So we
Right.
have to, yeah. So the other thing is, again, go back to the self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I now? How did this impact me? How
Mm-hmm.
do I forgive myself? How do I
Mm-hmm.
forgive others?
Yes.
So that I can start off clean, and I won't make the next person in my life or the people around me pay for
Right.
this issue I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
So get to a place of healing is what I recommend typically
Beautiful.
to anybody who's been through a bad breakup, because I've
Beautiful.
never seen a good breakup. I mean, people can be amenable and
Mm-hmm.
laugh and talk,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing about, for me at least, that I've looked at with divorce is that person carried your secrets away with them.
Mm.
they're still breathing. They can talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of different. You still have some emotional ties sometimes.
Definitely.
So it's about finding out who you are and where do you want to go from there.
Okay.
How and then I go through a list. I ask
Mm-hmm.
people typically to go through a list and say, go through the thing when you get ready to start dating again or be in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship again, go through a list of everything that you want and then do the things and then write NP or not negotiable, NN, next to the things that are non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you end up in a relationship, I don't care how fine he is, how much money, whatever his little things is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The emotional tied to it, if it's one of your non-negotiables,
Right. Stay true to it.
step back
Mm-hmm.
because you did the list when you were sober.
Right.
Now you're high on love and emotion and all that.
Right.
So go back to your list and see if it fits.
Exactly.
Because for an example, if the person is selfish and you have a tendency of going after people being in your life who are selfish because you're so giving and you don't want someone who's selfish, that should be a non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great points. So to kind of like wrap up what you said is something that I say all the time is when we go through the breakup, we need to make sure that we take the time to process our role, process their role, take the time to reflect. So then you're able to grow. So
Absolutely.
this is really what you just shared is the entire process of how to do all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Absolutely.
and then we take the time to get to know who we are, who we were, who we are now, who we'd like to be moving forward, so we can actually have our non-negotiables or our deal breakers, and we
Right.
can live in our truth when before we accept someone else into our space.
Absolutely.
So good
Now,
stuff.
the only thing, if I may add something,
Uh-huh.
and I just dealt with it earlier today, is when we have children,
Mm-hmm.
especially whether they're girls or boys, sometimes when we go from one relationship to another, they're involved in it too.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go through the process and we reflect, make let's take the time
Yes.
to deal with our children in
Mm-hmm.
it and make sure that they're okay
Right,
and
because
be
they are
careful about bringing people into that. I'm not saying bring them into the house, but bringing them into our
our
lives.
lives, right?
Yeah.
Right, because our kids are adjusting too, and they need time to heal and they need to
Yes.
get the help that's needed. So it's important that the same way that you are processing, we need to remember that our kids are little people. They're processing
Right.
too. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for adding that. That's important. All right, we're running out of time, but I want to make sure that we touch on some more things here. And all of this information has been so great. So I do thank you again for being here.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
So let's see. We kind of just touched on the difference, but what's the biggest difference between loss of a marriage and death, loss of a marriage from death or divorce?
You're right. We touched a
Right.
little bit on it. One way they walk away with your secrets, what I mean, because they're
Mm-hmm.
still walking around, they're human, they're live, and
Mm-hmm.
we see them all the time or may see them. The other way though is typically when you lose someone through death, there's an end to it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
not an end to the pain,
Right.
not an end to the loss, but you can literally know that every secret that you told that person, they
Mm-hmm.
took it to the grave.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying it's easier in your healing process,
Mm-hmm.
but it is easier as you move forward. The only thing we have to be careful of is that sometimes our mind will generate this lifestyle that may or may not have been true
Okay.
when the person was living.
Okay.
So we just have to be careful of that, not making a superhero out of the woman or male our husband or wife that we
Mm-hmm.
lost. But that's the only thing that we have to be, because usually when you get a divorce, they're not a superhero. There's never a
Mm-hmm.
chance that the
Right.
person, that's typically not the
Yes,
case.
typically not.
But sometimes when you lose the person, they can turn into a superhero and no
Right.
one will ever fit that because you keep on adding how wonderful and amazing. Not saying they weren't, but we
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful with that
Thank
as
you
we
for
move
saying
forward.
that. Yes. So, but when it comes to the transformation piece, we still transform and go through the same process when we lose, when a relationship ends by death or divorce. The process is
You
still
are correct.
the same. Okay. And then what is the importance of knowing who I am and will who I am shift? Like we spoke about self discovery, but are you shifting now as you start to learn more about yourself?
Absolutely. I think it's like a new, it's like our phones.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us, or any gadget. I can talk about me again. I know I turn my phone on. I know how to do a
Mm-hmm.
couple other things with my phone.
Right.
But when I start getting new equipment, I don't take out the manual.
Mm.
I don't take out the manual. But the manual tells me all the things that the phone will do for me,
Yes.
all the benefits. So I usually use about 10%. And that's how we are sometimes with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
As we grow and we discover more about ourselves, it's like
Mm-hmm.
opening the manual and said, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. I didn't know I
Mm-hmm.
had that capacity or capability.
Right.
So now that you know, let's rock it.
Yes, I like it. Okay. So now, when we are transforming, especially after a breakup, we go through the parts of being single, right? Of being by ourselves. So, what's